Good evening, I'm Tanya Antosha, and this is the latest news from Ukraine. Ukraine welcomed Joe Biden for his final trip as the U.S. Vice President. The decision to meet with Ukrainian leaders sends a powerful message of Washington's support for Ukraine, just days before Donald Trump takes over the presidency. Our correspondent Christopher Atwood has more.
U.S. Vice President Joe Biden was in Kiev on Monday in a show of continued American support as Ukraine contemplates the uncertainties of the coming Trump presidency. Biden has been one of Ukraine's most outspoken Western allies and the American face of Ukrainian-U.S. relations. The choice of Kiev for his final overseas trip reflects Biden's personal investment into Ukraine's post-Maidan transition. In a joint appearance with Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko, the outgoing U.S. Vice President emphasized the need to maintain sanctions against Russia over the Kremlin's hybrid war in East Ukraine.
Together with our EU and G7 partners, we made it clear that sanctions should remain in place until Russia fully, I emphasize fully, implements its commitments under the Minsk Agreement, and that the Crimea-related sanctions against Russia must remain in place until Russia returns full control to the people of Ukraine.
Biden's most notable visit to Ukraine was in December 2015. He delivered an impassioned speech to the Ukrainian parliament, imploring MPs to answer the call of history and lead the fight against corruption. The speech received a standing ovation. The U.S. Vice President was instrumental in securing a $1 billion aid package in 2014 at the height of the conflict in eastern Ukraine. The Obama administration has faced criticism for not supplying Ukraine with lethal weapons, instead settling on a steady ratcheting of economic sanctions against Russia. This final Biden visit came amid concerns over the durability of the U.S.-Ukrainian alliance. Politicians in both countries have expressed unease about the future of American support for Ukraine once U.S. President-elect Donald Trump takes office on January the 20th. Trump has promised to reassess the role of the United States in foreign affairs. He has openly speculated about the possibility of a potential deal with Russia. The incoming U.S. president has frequently praised Russian leader Vladimir Putin personally and has refuted U.S. intelligence agency claims of Russian attempts to interfere in the U.S. presidential elections.
Joe Biden took advantage of his visit to deliver a powerful and highly personal message of encouragement to Ukraine. In an emotional address, he called on Ukrainians to seize the opportunities of what he said would be a very telling year. Let's take a listen.
What a privilege it has been to support and stand with Ukraine over these past 25 years, first as a senator and of late as vice president. I've been inspired by your people, their courage, their resilience, brave Ukrainians who never gave up hope for a future of something better, who got up and go to work every day for a democratic and united Ukraine. And if you can continue to make progress, Mr. President, if you keep doing the hard work and making the difficult choices to put Ukraine first, I promise you the American people will stand with you. This next year is going to be a very, very telling year. A very telling year. There was a line that John Kennedy used in deciding to go to the moon. He said, America's doing it because we're no longer willing to postpone. I believe the Ukrainian people are no longer willing to postpone a free, open, democratic, and prosperous Ukraine. So seize it. I'm looking forward to seeing what our nations can build together, Mr. President, over the next 25 years and beyond. Because, as my grandfather would say, with the grace of God and the goodwill of the neighbors, which we can't count on very much in this neighborhood, we can get this done. But it all depends on the willingness of your people to continue to insist on what they deserve. because they deserve it.
Facebook, the world's largest social network, is finally unveiling its long-awaited fake news identification tool. The new feature comes amid concerns over Russian disinformation campaigns designed to mislead online audiences. The new feature will allow Facebook users to report news stories they suspect to be false. Potential fakes will be sent to third-party fact-checkers, including Reuters, the Associated Press, and ABC News. Suspicious stories will then be marked as disputed. Facebook's fake news program will be introduced in Germany as the country prepares for elections later this year. The social networking giant has come under fire after many users complained that false news stories influenced last year's U.S. presidential election. Officials in Berlin are worried Moscow will seek to use similar disinformation tactics to influence the German vote. Good news in Ukraine's fight against corruption. Ukrainian Railways reported a profit of $11 million for 2016. This is a massive turnaround considering in 2015 the company found itself owing nearly $500 million. The new Polish chairman of the state-owned Ukrainian company, Wojciech Balchun, has helped save millions of dollars by cracking down on illegal purchases, including overpriced fuel. In his native Poland, Balchun was the president of the largest railway freight carrier. Ukraine and Russia will face off in a London court tomorrow over a $3 billion Eurobond loan. The loan was issued to Ukraine's former president Viktor Yanukovych in 2013 during the anti-government Euromaidan protests. Kyiv argues Russia's illegal invasion and annexation of Crimea has deprived Ukraine of the economic benefit of the transaction. The defense team has also submitted documents detailing Russia's military involvement in the war in eastern Ukraine. While the holiday season in most of the world finished several weeks ago, the Orthodox festivities in Ukraine are just winding down. This year, celebrations in the western Ukrainian city of Uzhhorod were rounded off with festive folk songs in various languages, revealing the many peculiarities and traditions of Ukraine's multi-ethnic Zakarpattia region. Our correspondent, Alex Gupta, found out more.
In this beautiful and multicultural region of Western Ukraine, the annual Carols in the Old Village Festival in Uzhhorod brings together folk groups from across the Zakarpattia region to sing in Ukrainian, Hungarian, Polish, and Slovakian. This is how caroling in Hungarian sounds. Folk groups from the Berezicki district performed a show called Bethlehem. This is Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus Christ. We do a puppet show of Bethlehem, which might be a rare thing for Zakarpattia, but not in the Berezicki district. Zakarpattia is multicultural. Many different and unique cultures have gathered here. The overwhelming majority of Berezicki district is Hungarian. Everyone lives amongst each other, and intercultural marriage is common. The most common characters of traditional nativity scenes are an elderly man, shepherds, and angels. The characters represent a person's personality trait. Angels and shepherds personify goodness, while imps represent evil. Surprisingly, people always cheer for the devil. Mikhailo is only 10 and is the youngest guest of the festival. Nonetheless, he is very experienced. Once he learned to speak, he started caroling. When I began caroling, I would sing to my grandparents and relatives. My mom and grandma taught me how to carol. I know about 100 carols. Our grandmothers and our parents used to sing these carols. We continue to convey the traditions of our region. I used to live in the Donetsk region. Nobody would go caroling at Christmas, but here everyone goes caroling with each other. People are so hospitable here, celebrating together. This is the 7th time the festival Caroling in Old Village has been held in Uzhhorod. Every year, it becomes more and more popular, attracting guests and visitors from all over Ukraine.
Ukraine's Antonov aircraft are renowned around the world. Their huge cargo planes have broken dozens of world records over the past few decades, making them a market leader in heavy and large haulage. Yet the company has huge ambitions. Antonov recently signed cooperation deals with Saudi Arabia and China and opened an agency in London. But the company says the determination to expand doesn't stop here. UATV's correspondent Tom Bell found out more.
The first model of one of Ukraine's most famous exports stands in the courtyard of this factory in Kiev. Since Antonov's first AN-2 aircraft took off on its maiden voyage in 1947, engineers here have continued to design and assemble some of the most recognizable cargo planes around the world. This fuselage is just a single component of the thousands of aircraft that have left the production line since the company was founded just after World War II. Antonov has broken a staggering 285 world records in total and now cooperates with 78 countries around the world. The company's deputy director argues design is the most important feature. The AM planes are revered around the world. They fly around the world. The aircraft have earned a reputation for their reliability and dependability, for their ability to take off and land anywhere. They can fly on unpaved, concrete or snow-covered runways. By far the company's most famous plane, the Antonov 225, at 84 meters in length and weighing a massive 640 tons, it creates a sense of awe for anyone standing in or underneath it. Since its maiden flight as part of the Soviet space shuttle program in 1988, the aircraft has been used to deliver NATO supplies and transport huge cargoes around the globe. This plane is the pride for Ukraine. A few years ago, it could be seen in a museum, but thanks to the efforts and patience of Ukrainians, this plane continues to carry some of the heaviest loads in the world. This plane, named Maria or Dream in English, has broken many aviation records itself. One of the most ambitious operations was the delivery of a 175-ton transformer from Austria to Houston in the US. The cargo plane also flew construction equipment from the Czech Republic to Uzbekistan, weighing a staggering 250 tons. That's about the weight of 115 cars, all stacked up on one another. Inside, the design may look slightly old, but the plane certainly attracts a crowd wherever it goes. Large crowds gather to see us arrive and depart. The plane attracts a lot of spectators. There is a huge sense of pride in what we are and that we're able to do everything with this huge structure, and the plane even still flies. The iconic Antonov brand dominates the oversize and heavyweight cargo market. In recent months, the company has sought to expand and diversify its global market reach, a change in strategy from its close partnership with Russia. The entire market for heavy cargo is divided between two companies, Antonov and Volga-Dnipro in Russia. The world market is ours. There is simply no competition. There is not another plane in the world which can carry what we carry. We have the advantage that if Volga-Dnipro cannot carry something, our Maria aircraft can. This year, China agreed to restart mass production of Antonov's flagship plane, the AN-225. The deal allows China's Aerospace Industry Corporation to design and construct under license from Antonov. The equipment on board the new Maria 2 aircraft will differentiate from the original Maria. However, the fuselage, wing and all major aspects of the design are identical to the original design, but all the installed systems on the aircraft have to be modern. But reviving the world's biggest aircraft is not the only project. Antonov is now focusing on two different models of smaller planes. They differ in size, capability and purpose. The AN-148 and the AN-158 aircraft meets all the modern requirements. They can operate in any environment, operate in any climate, and can land on an airfield located up to an altitude of 4 kilometers. The AN-158 passenger aircraft and the similar AN-148-200 model are both only assembled in Ukraine. But Antonov says its reach is global. The company says it serves clients from countries including Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Azerbaijan, Malaysia and Cuba. Ukraine's Ministry of Defense also ordered 3 new-generation AN-148 planes. Approximately 1.15 billion Ukrainian hryvnias, about $44 million at recent exchange rates, was allocated for the purchase. Over the recent years, we have continued to modernize the AN-148 model, especially in terms of the electronic systems and other aviation equipment used. For a long time now, cockpits in the planes haven't resembled the appearance of ones designed 35 years ago. It's today's demands. Modernization is happening and resources are increasing. Last February, Saudi Arabia inked a deal to produce Antonov's lighter, multi-purpose model, the AN-132. The twin-engine plane is intended to carry up to almost 10 tons and can be used for airdropping medical supplies, military equipment and servicemen, as well as other uses. Most of the plane's components are Ukrainian, with other supplies from the USA, France and Canada. Based on the design of the AN-132 and on the designs of aircraft before, we can develop rescue planes and firefighting planes, as well as regular cargo planes. We very much hope these aircraft will be used for our Ukrainian customers. But Antonov needs an extra $700 million investment to upgrade its Soviet-era facilities and replace all Russian parts now embargoed after Moscow's invasion of eastern Ukraine. With this money, the company says it can produce dozens of more aircraft before 2020. It's a prospect that would see Ukraine's aircraft taking off from more destinations around the world.
That's the latest news from Ukraine. From all of us at UATV, we thank you for watching and we'll see you tomorrow.